application of artificial intelligence instruments. Il relatore è il professor Pizzi, al quale do la parola. Sia bravo e sia dai 12 minuti assertivamente.
Good afternoon all. Here we are to talk about my final work. It deals with the technical analysis, that is analysis that want to predict future market trends, and it aims to assess what and extract what can be market yields and market return. What is the problem of this analysis is that it is in contrast with the efficient market hypothesis. In particular, in the weak form of this hypothesis, we know that the prices discount all information available. However, in this work, I made an hypothesis that is a weaker form of efficiency, in the sense that I assess if we can say that the market is efficient in the long run, instead with a co-presence of short-term inefficiency. So what I want to assess is that we can build a non-arbitrary decision-making system through the application of artificial intelligence. In this way, we can resolve the problems associated with the technical analysis. In particular, we can have two viewpoints. That one issue of technical analysis is the too subjectivity of this. And we have, for example, the apophenia bias. That is when investors try to see in the chart of prices something that really doesn't exist materially. So we can also in this framework we have the conflicting analysis, that is the fundamental analysis that want to assess the value of assets looking at their intrinsic value. But the main issue, I can say that fundamental analysis make an assumption that investors are rational. So I can say that technical analysis is supported by the Tail theory. That is when we can say that market trends continue until our reversal pattern happens, and so we can predict the future trends looking at the historical prices. Additionally, another supporting argument is the behavioral finance field of economics that looks at what the investors are. We have human beings that we have a lot of cognitive distortions, and this distortion make the time series predictable and accessible also with the technical analysis. In particular, we can say that the chart configurations are models about stylized price behaviors, and we have three kinds of categories that are charts that are about the time series inside a graph. But we have also the patterns of technical analysis that are the sequence of lines that reach particular important points in price. This pattern is useful to assess the right time to enter and exit the market. Moreover, we have also indicators of technical analysis. These are mathematical formulation of how the price behaves. And what we can say is that since the prices are function of demand and supplies, we have investors that are subject to the environment. So we can say that the environment can affect what investment thinks, and prices are the results of the conglomeration of multiple judgments that are subjective. My thesis is structured in a form that wants to assess this behavior. In particular, I use machine learning tools that are meteoristics that can exploit this sentiment of investors. I use in my Python scripts, I use three kinds of machine learning tools that are the genetic algorithm that wants to assess the graphical configuration of prices, a neural network that wants to generalize my signal, and finally I use a particle swarm optimization that wants to assess the most profitable trading strategy. The first part of the scripts wants to assess the secular market trend. So what I want to assess is the long-term price trend of the market. This is because I want to know what kind of signal to use, if I use a continuation signal or a reversal signals. In the first case, for continuation signal, in my paper I use the butterfly signals. Instead, if the market is bear, I will use reversal signals that are, in this case, I use a head and shoulder signal. How I assess the secular market trend? I use I use 6 technical indicators that are momentum following. These are wants to englobe what is the perceptual method, so what the investor perceives as the main trend of the market. And this, since I know, since the paper wants to assess that the market can be repeatable over time, this indicator tells me what kind of configuration to use. The main work is about the recognition of uniformities in the time series. So I apply a genetic algorithm in the form of a template matching approach. This approach uses a grid of weights that want to theoretically represent the technical signal. What is the problem here? That these weights are defined a priori. So in order to make this analysis more objective, I use this optimizer in order to assess which kind of grids is the best performing. So we have some optimal parameters that are the day windows, so how many prices, observed price I can shrink in the field of weights. The forecast horizon is how many days I stay invested, and the percentage threshold that tell me if I recognize the signal with a sufficient enough reliability. So this genetic algorithm tells me what is the best performing empirical signals that is then uses as the input for a neural network. The neural network here is a pattern classifier, so I want to add some random noise in order that to build a model that can assess also some diversity in the price. So the neural network wants to learn what is the best way to reach the signal.
Giacomo, we have some time constraints.
Okay.
So could you go to your research outputs and then we go to the conclusion?
So I use the research output is that my genetic algorithm define what we can see in the right image, that is in this case a bootleg signals, that I saw that it is positively correlated with the predicted value of the template matching approach. What I saw moreover is that the day windows or how much day I have to use to recognize the pattern is for a bootleg near 30 and 40 days. Instead, we have the forecast horizon and the percentage value that are skewed in two directions, meaning that the investors or the market tell me that we stay invested in the long run, and moreover, we prefer to have a lower similarity with the signals, but we want to have more amount of signal detected by the system. What I found is that the average excess profit of the genetic algorithm is well performing. I make an heteroscedasticity test where I can find that this system is able to reach a significant excess profit. Moreover, with the application of the neural network and the particle swap optimization, I can reach a more stable return in the learning sample and the training sample, the test sample. And at the end, I can reach an annualized cumulative return on investments of about 17% if the investor is short, so she wants to stay invested at least 40 days. Instead, if the investor wants to stay invested for longer time, I mean between 30 and 120 days, the annualized cumulative return on investment reaches near 60% year over year. What is important here is that these strategies reaches and it is more performer compared to the passive variable strategy. In particular, we are able to reach about 30% of overperformance with this passive strategy. And finally, we can say that also this strategy is positively correlated with the sentiment of the market. So the hypothesis that is the correlation between this technical analysis and the sentiment of investors is proved by this work. And so we are I am able to build a system that is adaptable to different markets. So what is remarkable here is that this technical analysis can be the nudge of the for investors. So it is not an analysis that doesn't want to substitute the fundamental analysis, but he wants to recommend investors some hidden trends, and we see that this can be found by this work, and so technical analysis can be profitable this way.
Okay, are there any questions? Thank you, grazie a tutti, vi chiedo velocemente di accomodarvi.
La Commissione, considerata la media delle votazioni riportate nelle singole prove d'esame, tutto il parere del relatore sul lavoro di tesi, ha approvato il suo esame di laurea con punti 110 su 110. La Commissione inoltre, unanime, ha ritenuto di conferirle la menzione della lode. In nome della legge e in virtù dei poteri conferiti dalla magnifica rettrice e da questa a me delegati, la proclamo dottore magistrale in economia e finanza. E congratulazioni. Bravi. Poverini, sono gli ultimi, li lasciamo fuori.